Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Love and Action Network's Deconstruction Junction, where we gather every week, by and large, to talk about the things that we're seeing in the world that make sense to us, and maybe some things that don't make sense too. We pull apart religion and science, and already said religion, but spirituality as well. We talk about our childhoods, our psychological defects are on the table as well. You will see them in full display on my part, especially in the next hour that we're together. And you're probably wondering who I am. I'm Dr. Flo, online coach and mentor. I'm not telling you what I heard, but what I know. What I know is that you're loved and lovable. You've always been loved and lovable, and you're always going to be loved and lovable for the rest of your life. No one can change that. I can't change it, and the lovely Tara Parolo can't change it either. But who's Tara Parolo?
Somebody that pulled up off the street, child. Oh, there, y'all, it's not poop. That's Thin Mint. Um, that's Thin Mint. That's very trusting of a mom to just. Anyway, I'm a mom. I am also your resident Black biracial multi-passionate musician. I talk about the ish that nobody wants to talk about and push you to do the same. Yeah, and we would love to have you out there listening on this show or on a different version of the podcast. We just want to talk to people, and you don't even have to be like-minded about everything that we say. In fact, even the power of three on the top of Love and Action, we disagree on Kamala's next role, right? Like big time. And we're not going to get into that today because Suze is home. So we're not going to get into it because then we're going to be here for 3 hours. Okay.
He would be fine, but yeah.
So anyway, if you're interested in being interviewed about your art, your deconstruction journey of your religion, your healing journey, whatever you're doing in your life, or you want to come here and sit on a panel with us as we discuss some of the hot topics throughout the week, or the TikTok drama, or the threads blocking, what have you, please feel free to apply at lovedandlovable.bio.link, lovedandlovable.bio.link.
Yeah, y'all. We would love to have you on to hear your thoughts. There's tons of opinions happening on threads and spaces. We'll talk about it in a bit. However, I think that if we actually apply some elbow grease, Tara, we'll be able to find enough people who want to convene to share about how their boat is rising or sinking in the tides of the ocean of life. Okay, speaking of the tides of the ocean of life, it was a crazy week in politics. Tara, give us context about this.
Yeah, so I think y'all know how I feel about 47, and I'm gonna just refer to him as 47. Y'all know who I'm talking about, but like I'm a little bit conscious of the platforms that we're on, and we've had situations where they have muted us, so I don't want that to happen. So I'm just gonna refer to him as 47. So number 47 is obviously wreaking havoc all over, or wrecking havoc, whatever. I don't know. Different people say that word differently. Don't come at me for the way I said that word. It's wreaking.
I'm more of a reek.
Reek. W-R-E-A-K. Okay, wreaking. Anyway, but this week he held what he called a State of the Union address, which it wasn't. It was a joint session of Congress that he happened to speak at, and gave the longest speech ever to a joint congressional situation. 2 hours, over 2 hours of vitriol and lies and incessant just racism, calling someone Pocahontas, like things happened in this. And Representative Al Green, the reason that we're talking about him today, and the reason that he's been in the media with this beautiful picture that will like live rent free in my head, much like also today is the anniversary of Bloody Sunday, which this is connected to John Lewis. John Lewis organized this. So Representative Al Green at this joint session of Congress stood up and told 47 how he felt about 47 trying to take away Medicare from the people. And this is also important because Representative Al Green is 77. Okay, so if he was not in Congress, he would be benefiting from Medicaid and Medicare. And he has the best healthcare. And he said the next day, like, I have the best healthcare, and I believe that everybody should have access to it. But he stood up in this meeting, and Speaker Johnson ordered the I can't remember what his name is, the dude that actually took Representative Al Green out. Representative Al Green is the first sitting Congress member to ever be removed from this kind of situation. So we have seen hecklers at Biden's speeches. We've seen a couple at Obama's speeches and sitting members of Congress, and they were never removed. The most famous one is probably Marjorie Taylor Greene at one of the State of the Unions for Joe Biden. And she wasn't removed. So there's actually a post in here about that. And after this happened, while it was happening, none of the other people in attendance stood up and blocked these people from taking this 77-year-old man out. None of them. And then the next day, the House voted with 10 Democrats, okay? All the Republicans and 10 Democrats voted to censure Al Green in the office. And now they are starting to talk about trying to remove the Democrats from their committee assignments based on their quote unquote protest by wearing the pink blazers and holding up signs that said that 47 is lying, etc. So that's the backstory. And we have a couple more. So this is actually while it was happening, which was interesting because I went to the internet and tried to find it and I couldn't find it. I could only find it on Threads and Instagram. So this is the first post here is the what I was talking about earlier. 2 Greens did the same thing, but only the black one was punished. Okay. And then Dr. Flo is going to click this link, and this is as the is it not there? I swear I put it there. I can send it in the chat. Do you need it? I don't know.
Oh, I definitely need it.
Okay. I'm going. That's weird. Must find. Oop, that's not it. Uh-oh, y'all. We might have to skip it. Oh no, I found it. She found it. Here you go. I'm putting it into the private chat. There you go.
By its adoption of House Resolution 189, the House has resolved that Representative Al Green be censured, that Representative Al Green forthwith present himself in the well of the House of Representatives for the pronouncement of censure, and that Representative Al Green be censured with public reading of this resolution by the Speaker. The House has come to order. What's it? The House has come to order. Clear the well, please. Clear the well. The House has to continue its business.
Yeah.
Pursuant to Clause 12A of Rule 1, the House will stand in recess subject to the call of the chair.
So that is, first of all, I just loved it because he was conducting, and I just thought it was one of the cutest things that I've seen.
I love Maxine standing there like, this shit shall overcome. Like she's been literally overcoming for like how old is Maxine Waters?
She's like 88 or something.
She's been trying to overcome
old.
for 60-something years, and like her whole stance, like, I can't even see her face, but her body language is here we fucking go again.
Well, I aged her by 2 years. She is 86.
She's 86.
She's 86.
She was standing there like Sissy Houston was behind Aretha Franklin on that late night show, just like rolling in the deep.
Hallelujah. I think is there one more slide, or is that the only thing that I put there? Of John, I think, or I'm sorry, of Al. Yeah, this is about the same thing. So this says wearing a pink jacket, a wardrobe choice. Protest, what Al Green did. Comply, what everyone wearing a pink jacket did as Al Green was escorted out. Performative actions, claiming to protest when you intend to instantly comply instead. Betrayal, voting to censure someone for actually protesting a thing you only claimed to protest. And this is what we mean when we say do something. What Al Green did is what we mean when we say do something. Stop buying articles of clothing to tell us you're safe. All that tells me is that you're not safe because you ain't done the work. That's all it tells me. And I really would like to believe that there are smarter people in office than presented there. However, I do not think that that is true, given that not even, like Ayanna Pressley, she made a video and she had walked out, right? I don't know if AOC walked out or not, or just did like a little Instagram live afterwards. But these are things that, specifically wearing the pink jackets as quote unquote protest and holding up a sign is not enough, right? It's just not enough. And then to not even protect, right? We talked about Idaho, I think 2 weeks ago, the situation in Idaho with Teresa being carried out. Dr. Teresa, I don't know her last name. It's long and complicated. But where is your resolve? Where is your do something energy? Yeah, you're doing something with the straw. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's easy to romanticize the things that Al Green did, or things like what Al Green did. I think it's also easy to romanticize, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, and maybe not so much Malcolm X, but and John Lewis, and I just want to remind us that, like, it's not pretty. It's not like it's not, oftentimes it's not pretty work. It's not romantic work. It is standing up and hollering, right? It is standing up and singing, and it is not being removed from the floor or leaving from the floor just because someone who has quote unquote power tells you to. And that is what Al Green showed us. Al Green has been a masterclass this week. And probably always. I don't know that much about that man. I really don't. But at 77.
He's the son. The question I was going to ask you before we went to tape was, do we care about him because of his stance, or do we care about him because of who his father was? You know that his father was a famous Black singer.
Okay, I didn't know that they were related. I mean,
that
I
is
knew
my understanding. Am I making that up?
I mean, I think there is a singer, Al Green, and Al Green related.
I said that with my full chest, as if two Black men could not be both named Al Green.
Are they actually related? Have we confirmed this?
I'm looking now to see about the lies I tell. I don't know. I'm looking into. There's not even a section on Wikipedia about Al Green's personal life. Wait, the algorithm knows. 1 second. R. Al Green in Congress and the Al
Who is
Green.
Al Green's parents? Y'all, we're verified, okay? This is Don Lemon has people working for him doing this, okay? Who are your parents? Who are your parentals? Early life and education. He went to listen in 1970. He earned a Juris Doctorate. That's not what it says. A Juris Doctor in 1973 from Thurgood Marshall School of Law at Texas Southern University.
This article by now would have said about that this man was related. I don't think they're related at all.
Like, I know that sometimes the singer comes up when I search him, but like,
wait, so Al Green.
I think Al Green is like a legacy John Lewis type. Like, I think he's like a legit. Like, I don't think his daddy.
Okay, so just for the record, I'm not trying but like the name Al Green does not ring a bell to my black ass as a person who's related to Congress until it came up this week with him raising his cane in the air. Yeah, Al Green that I grew up talking about. If you go into the discography, Al Green was like singing like some
and he's legit. This says on October 25th, 2023, Green and 8 other Democrats, including AOC Cori Bush, who suffered the consequences of this vote, Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib, along with Republican Thomas Massie, voted against congressional bipartisan non-binding resolution H-Res 77-1, supporting Israel in the wake of the 2023 attacks. So he voted against that.
He's been a real one. And not to take away from this man, Al Green was the one who sang Let's Stay Together, which you know, Tara. So yes. That's the only Al Green I know. But this Green didn't earn an undergraduate diploma, but attended several HBCUs, including Howard, Tuskegee Institute, also known as Tuskegee University. In 1973, his singing father helped him to acquire his Juris Doctorate from Thurgood Marshall School of Law, and then co-founded a law firm. During his career, while he was on the tour bus with his dad, the congressman was the president of the Houston branch of NAACP, holding that position for a decade after his dad completed singing, and then he went on to Congress. And that's how quickly misinformation spreads.
So quickly.
They're not related, for the record.
I feel like it would have been talked about. But I don't think they are at all.
Well, maybe the reason the question still stands. Maybe the reason why I care is because he has the name of the guy who sang "Let's Stay Together," but they're not related at all. And now I have to learn more about who this congressional Al Green really is. Yes. You know, you do know that they were all told by Hakeem to not stand or make a single move. So for him to actually break that rank was also a problematic thing, and the reason why a lot of Democrats went along with the censure. But I want to also tack down in this
I wouldn't go so far as to say a lot of Democrats. It was only 10 that voted to censure, but also they're like the majority of them are white. You
didn't have to tell me that the majority of them were white. I knew that when I heard about it. I know where their allegiance is to whiteness above all else. The Democrat and Republican distinction is something that is ornamental to me. White people are as white people do, and I take the actions of them as I see them. And the fact that there was no disruption means that if you follow the money of these people and who's lining their bank accounts and taking them to free dinners and sending them on free trips and buying their Uber for the year, and you start looking into where these lobbies and their interests lie, you'll see that most of the people in Congress are this word that no one likes to talk about here in this town. They're very compromised.
Yes. And
And
oftentimes
so,
Zionist.
who are compromised.
Mm-hmm. Excuse me.
Who are compromised. Anyway, we got to move forward so we're not here forever this week. My project updates are as follow. We are trying to figure out. Yeah, follows. Thank you. All right.
This is so random, but your wig is making me think of. This is so random. It's making me think of what are they called? They're called like popcorn cakes or something. I used to make that. It was my first job, and they're called pizza cakes, and it's like a popcorn ball, but it's like flattened out, and it's got M&Ms in it. I don't know why it's making me think of that today, but that's.
I love a marshmallow ball. A Rice
Yeah,
Krispie ball.
is like a thick.
But I don't trust them from everywhere because I can't trust that the person forming the ball actually like washed their hands and used a glove and stuff. And whatever germs are on their hands definitely going to stick to a marshmallow ball. So I have to make those shit from my. What the hell is happening in the studio?
My whole ADHD brain just like clicked in right there. Is
this week for me is giving the arch nemesis in Zoolander, Miyagi or Miyagi.
I've never seen that movie.
Well, we have to watch Zoolander together. That is a dealer's choice. It's so silly. It's Ben Stiller
that Ross would like.
I think he would laugh. It's white people humor throughout for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do
you watch Zoolander? Anybody in the room love Zoolander? There's a whole gas station scene that you must see.
Okay.
Anyway, project updates are that we're working on Love in Action project and also Love and Truth newsletter. We invite all of you to subscribe and to read that. We're really trying to move the needle on the support that people are getting in the local community. It's not good enough just to help yourself. You have to be of direct impact to others, if so inclined. And so the most recent thing that happened this week, and I did a reel about it, was a local clergy member who knows who I am. I was not in the wig on this particular day, and she reintroduced herself to me as a new person, even though we've met several times. This is a person who I've cried with about not having food or not having clothes or not having hope or not having a care. This person knew me and still introduced herself to me as a stranger. We need to stop doing this to one another. We have to actually stand up in these times for what is right, and what is supportive. We do not lack, we haven't talked about this in a while here. We do not lack food. There's plenty of food. We don't lack money as a society. There's plenty of money in society. We don't lack the time, talent, and treasure that we parrot to each other in a hypnotic rhythm that we do. It's simply a falsehood. And there was a thing that was going around that I still haven't gotten to the bottom of in this town, that there was a food shortage in Lexington, North Carolina. And that's the reason why everyone could not be supported. It's the reason why 1 in 6 people in this town don't know what they're going to eat tonight. It's because of this amnesia that we have around common care and common good. So I'm going to continue to, like, as I told Pastor Elizabeth Horton of the First Reformed UCC, and I want y'all to remember that, because very soon we're going to have to call her. I'm going to have Tara call her. I'm going to have Angie call her. I'm going to have Tara email her. I'm going to have Angie email her, because we need answers about why there's such a lack of love and truth here. And she said to me very curtly, maybe kind of nicely, but I look forward to your report and what you have to say about me and all this. Oh, we're going to be saying a lot when we cannot get resources to the people who are here, those who are hungry, spiritually starved, and also physically starved. We must do more. There's no food shortage here. The food's over at Food Lion. It's being let out the back door when it expires. It's going into the 501c3s here, where y'all have personal keys to the bread. I've seen it for myself when I was there crying and boo-hooing. And we deserve better. We deserve better. Someone emailed your boss's boss, so you can figure out how to provide for the people who are here. There's a child here that's suicidal because they're not eating well. You got to knock this shit off. What have you experienced watching from the outside in? You're not only at the 40,000 foot view of my life above, you're also over 900 miles away. What is like the biggest thing that you noticed about my plight and the plight of the people around me here?
Just for stealing a mouthful of bread. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Anyway, that's the cue that you just coming up to me.
Oh my God.
Les Mis, everyone. Don't watch the Russell Crowe version. He sucks. Find a better movie. Anyway.
Anything Alfie Bow?
Truth. Have y'all seen that video? Have you seen that video where Nick, what's his name? He's famous. Nick Jonas. Nick Jonas is like, he's doing a very nice job. And then Alfie starts singing and it's just like knocked out.
Alfie Bow is the truth. And a yummy, back in the day, I don't know what he looks like now. Back in the day, he was very good on the eyes as a robust gentleman. If a tree fell in the forest, would it make a sound?
I'm a big fan of Colm Wilkinson. I've also seen Colm like literally in concert. I went to see the Three Tenors once, and Colm was one of them. And then one of the Phantoms, like I can't remember his name, but one of the infamous Phantoms, and then a Sweeney Todd that had played Sweeney Todd so many times. It was such a good concert. Crazy good. Anyway, what I notice about Lexington and what I notice about lots of small towns and just our like kind of current climate, and not to generalize too much, but like we're in a very precarious situation, and not just because of the regime that's in office. I saw right before I got on here, I saw a post from Toy Marie, who's one of my favorite creators, and I like her programs and stuff. And anyway, in it on the post, it said, I wish that it didn't say I wish. It said landlords should be transparent about how much profit they're making. Right? These companies should be transparent about how much, and I swear I'm going somewhere with this, y'all, how much profit they're making. And transparency being, and the rest of the post was essentially like transparency is the enemy of all of these things that happen. Right. And I think that there's a lot of stuff that happens in small towns in particular, in nonprofits, in corporations, especially, right? But like nonprofits are like very close to second. Okay.
It's certainly an industrial complex.
Yeah.
People don't realize there's a religious industrial complex. I was getting there. There's religious industrial. They will never get off the hook with me. I'm a child of the cult that has been underserved.
Right.
I'm a child of the cult of Christ that has been underserved. I want every penny of my tithes back and refunds from these motherfuckers.
Right. And even like, I was watching the Knitting Cult Lady, which those of you that are TikTok junkies will know who that is. And she was talking about like 12-step programs and how they sometimes act as a cult. And, and they're doing a lot of things behind closed doors. I mean, I've heard stories of programs that have gone under because of inappropriate behavior of the leaders, right? And we hear that at churches, we hear that at nonprofits, we hear that at corporations, we hear that at government, we hear it everywhere. And so my point in saying this is I think a lot of things. That's your dog. A lot of things are happening behind closed doors. I know, baby. I don't know what you want. We can go get some Cheerios in just a second. Are just not happening in the light. Stand in the light. What's the next line?
And be seen as you are.
Yeah, that one. Whether that's good or bad. And I really feel that way about Lexington, that a lot of the reason that there's so much confusion or so much lack of action is because everybody is doing something behind a closed door and they refuse to open the door to let the public see in multiple ways.
We're going to take a 2-minute break for Cheerios for the kiddo.
Cheerios.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Cheerios.
We always pause for Cheerios here. The craziest hood of all the hoods is the parent hood. So we always let Tara off the hook because I told them behind the scenes, Tara, a child saying mama for Cheerios is not something that's going to ever complete until you ring the bell. And so that's
we are satisfied now. We have our water and we have a bowl full of Cheerios that we dumped on the floor.
Did you want to jump the deck into Threads culture and come back for the Asian gentleman, or are you ready to do the Asian gentleman?
Either way.
Okay, let's go with it. I just wasn't sure. I didn't want you like doing a mad dash like that guy who runs in his socks through the house. You know that creator that just runs from place to place? I didn't want you to do that on your way to Cheerios if you didn't have to.
It feels really dangerous when I watch those
He
videos.
always looks like he's about to bust his ass.
Yeah. Instagram.
This is what resisting Trump looks like, but no, sorry, we have the internet. Let me show you what real resistance actually looks like. Just a few days ago, Serbian lawmakers literally threw tear gas and smoke bombs into their parliament in order to protest their government. Or do you remember in New Zealand when Maori reps performed a haka in protest in order to stop a vote? Or here's a Taiwanese politician literally snatching a bill out of the opposition's hands and running away in order to keep it from being signed. And who can forget last year the entire world watched as South Korean parliament members literally scaled walls in the middle of the night in order to stop a fascist coup. All of that is what real resistance looks like, not whatever this is. This is the same performative crap that establishment Democrats have been pulling for years now. And it's not even that Democrats aren't resisting, they're actively trying to stop resistance. 10 Democrats joined Republicans to censure the only Democrat who actually protested Trump during the State of the Union speech. So at a certain point, we have to ask ourselves, why are they pulling their punches? But we actually don't have to guess why, we actually know. For example, these are the top donors to the House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. We've got AIPAC, BlackRock, and Lockheed Martin, the same people who are funding the other side, which means they're all on the same side. And this just reinforces something I say all the time, which is that in America, the real conflict is not left versus right. It's always been top versus bottom. And at this point, we all have to confront the reality that the Democratic Party is not going to save us. Because at this point, the only explanation is that they're complicit or they're weak. neither of which we need. But for all of us actually on the left, we have a huge job over the next 4 years. Right now, I think the Democrats are creating a vacuum. As more and more people become disillusioned and disenfranchised by the Democrats, that's a bigger and bigger opportunity for those of us on the left to present a real alternative. Because historically, it hasn't always been Democrats and Republicans. There have been other political parties, and when political parties stop representing the people, they tend to die. That's what happened to the Whigs, and it can happen again. And it's not necessarily even a brand new party. This could be a coalition of all the leftist parties that already exist in America, just like they've done with great success in European countries. We need to be finding our political home and start making connections with other leftist people and building coalitions with anyone who actually wants to fight fascism. And regardless of whatever flavor of leftist you consider yourself, this is all a part of the critical work that needs to get done over the next 4 years. It's not going to be enough to just march and protest and call our reps all the time. We actually have to get serious and start getting some power. And honestly, that's going to take a lot of different ways. And if you want to learn more about it, come check out theconsciouscitizens.org, where we're talking about all this stuff a lot more deeply. But all I know is that if we want to save ourselves, this isn't going to cut it. So Democrats want you to think that this is what resisting Trump looks
like. Girl, baby girl. I need everybody who cares about the truth to write down the word BlackRock and underline it 3 times. Because if you look into this company, they are in control of our food, our media. They're in the pockets of your politicians. We need to figure out what that website is. I did not know that Hakeem Jeffries, in addition to countless others, I'm sure, are bankrolled by BlackRock. BlackRock are also the same people who are controlling the Hulus of the world. They're in common stake financially with the Amazons of the world. Like Amazon and BlackRock goes into investment together to purchase the companies that manufacture the food. So you don't have to take, in the words of LeVar Burton and, of Reading Rainbow, you don't have to take my word for it. Go and do the research. And I'm hearing for the first time that the successor to Pelosi, who is also evil money, I never trust a Pelosi. Never, ever, ever shall you trust a Pelosi. He ascended to the throne from her, and now his interests are not aligned with the everyday American. His interest is aligned with the Morgan Stanley Chases of the world and the other people they bailed out because they were always bought. These people are bought. The only one that I trust, kind of, sort of, but she's playing the influencer game as well because she has to, because she's only making $5 at a time, is AOC. I watched her get $5 at a time, and she's the only one that's unapologetic about the things she can say because she's no one's going to be able to take her house away from her because none of them should be living like millionaires, yet they do. Like AOC lives on the actual income that she gets there, and she lives in like a shoebox of an apartment and has a hard time navigating DC. The reason why they live so lavishly is because of BlackRock. And they're going to lose their literal mansions and cars and all of their connections financially if no longer funded by BlackRock. I've said this for years. Follow the fucking money. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, I think for a very long time, major players have said follow the money, and also that, like, in order for politics to be real, in order for politics to actually serve as help to the people, it needs to be without all of the funding and all of the lobbying. And I'm not, I don't know about AOC, but what I liked about that video, I liked a lot of things about that video, was like, look how seriously these other countries and their government officials take caring for the people. That man literally grabbed the bill and ran out. And the Haka, they tore up the bill. Like, these are things that the people, the elected officials could be doing. And then I didn't know how Hakeem rose to power at all. Like I don't really know that man from a can of paint until
Like you do.
that video, right? And so like I think I also say this a lot to people is that like we have to not stop talking about change in between the major elections. If we want something to change, we have to start working on it. Like we can't just expect money to stop flowing and stop these elections from being so expensive, right? I mean, these presidential candidates are spending millions of dollars, billions of dollars even in this case, right? To fund their campaigns, and that's crazy. That's crazy. And that's not going to stop happening unless we actually start talking about it now and start taking action now. The lobbyists are not going to go away just because once every 4 years you say you don't like lobbyists. The money in politics and the payment for the congressional people, why do you think these people stay in office for 60 years in Biden's case? Right? These people stay in office because they are paid well. And in the case of AOC, she's maintaining, like you said, on her it's not a great salary. I think it's between $70,000 and $100,000 a year, but she's maintaining 2 properties. She's renting in New York and she's renting in Washington, D.C., 2 of the most expensive places in the United States. Right? And so like these are things that we just have to keep talking about. Like if you want resistance to look like the Hakka or like I think it was Taiwan that guy grabbed the bill and ran away. There are ways to non-violently protest like the Hakka and like grabbing that bill if the violence is what's making y'all uncomfortable. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to take violence in this country. It's not a threat. That's just a fact. It's going to take violence in this country to overhaul the current state of the government.
It always has.
Right.
It always has. The things that are going to happen in this country for true liberty are going to make January 6th look like child's play.
Right.
It's always happened that way.
Right.
It's the American way. So here we go.
Like I said, today's the anniversary of Bloody Sunday. And if you don't know what Bloody Sunday is, Google. If you don't know what Black Wall Street is, y'all, look up Black Wall Street.
I did not know what that was. But yeah, powerful stuff.
Yep.
Powerful stuff. All right. Speaking of the power of being connected and bearing witness to the suffering of others and also their joys, Tara and I have been venturing out into these thread streets. She's gotten about 20,000 views on her content in the last month. I've got about 30,000. This is not a dick measuring contest. It's just what happened. And what we're finding in all of those views and exchange is a lot of different opinions. Here's some that I wanted to bring in, and I'm probably going to bring a bunch every week to just have our say. Someone out here saying, one thing about me, I'm not afraid to speak up for what I want and need. Suffering in silence, been out. Another one is straight people only. What age did you decide you were straight? I love that one. There's also one up top that's a little sullen. Honestly, I feel defeated right now. Failing at everything. Have failed at everything for years. Don't know whether I'm coming or going. Tired of trying. Tired. 4,500 views. Someone under that comment says, you're probably not failing. You probably need help with sequencing. Doing good things at the wrong time can be frustrating, but doing things, here we go, in God's timing is like skiing downhill. It's Todd. Oh God, that's why I'm annoyed. Oh my God, it's Todd. Ugh. this sanctimonious guy from Clubhouse who used to follow Poppy Watering around because he claimed we were cartoons. He was so annoying because he was just like, oh, God, this God, that God, this God, that. I'm like, yo, I get it. You're into Sky Daddy. Now what? Like, and I do not follow him. He's just trending high in the threads. And the first response to this lady's $4.5 thousand, you're probably not feeling. You probably need help with secrets. I'm like, yeah, that's right. Doing good at the wrong time. Yes, that's right. But then here comes him preaching. Ugh. Someone else said, are you forcing anything? Are you aligned with what you're going after? As these failures could be a disguise, it's time to shift into alignment. This person then goes, never really know how to answer that. So this is a person who's got 12.4 thousand followers, which a lot of us think is like what we want in order to be seen and heard. But she seems like she's having a pretty similar Friday to what a lot of other people are experiencing. She's at least got 175 people. I'm sorry, that's dyslexia. 157 people who are feeling similarly. What say you about these threads and the way in which we can call and respond to each other more than we ever have?
Yeah, I mean, I had my Mitch.
Well, thank you so much. We're going to move on to the next slide.
Maxine Waters. Maxine Waters. That's probably what happens at 86. Also, Nancy Pelosi. Good God. Okay.
No, she would tell your ass off for any comment. Oakland style, but keep going.
When I'm that old, I hope
you will be just as sassy as Maxine Waters is in your 80s. I'm sure of it.
Oh my God. Okay. So I am not a Twitter girly. I never was a Twitter girly. I had Twitter because people said to get Twitter. I did get on Blue Sky. I kind of hated it. I'm still there. I've gotten on Mastodon. And I really like Threads. And it is because of that instantaneous call and response that I have yet to find on any other platform aside from Clubhouse. Like, and in the good days of Clubhouse, like when people were actually coming to rooms and we had rooms of 20, 30, 40, 50 people. It's fun to be on Threads and be exposed to a bunch of different thought patterns and thought leaders. You know, I have a feed. I just pinned it to my home feed. I don't know how to create public feeds, but anyway, like thought leaders and activists. You know, it's very. And to go to the comment section is always very interesting. But it's a call and response that you just don't get anywhere else. Like I was just looking at Instagram, and let me tell you, people don't comment on Instagram, you know? Even on big creators accounts, you can go under there and it's like, this is great. But I really like that Threads. It's like, and I think it has something to do with a lack of DMs, even though you can DM on Instagram, that like people do seem to follow and stay with your stuff, at least for a series of days, which is very different than Instagram, TikTok, you name it, that intentionally sort of disconnect us. So
it's also so engagement starved. Same thing on TikTok, though. These spaces are so engagement starved that pretty much if you comment to anybody, doesn't matter if this person has 4.5 thousand views. If they feel starved for attention that day or in the moment and you comment, they're going to give you a like stone or respond to you because they're sitting on the toilet or whatever, feeling depressed or whatever, or maybe happy. I don't know, unless people tell me how they are. So I've seen an uptick of communication because people want to talk. The systems have not given us the ability to talk to one another because they're so busy slow dripping us to one another in order to sell the ads in between us.
Right. Instagram keeps telling me that I've seen everything that's been posted in the last 24 hours from my follower or from the people that I follow. I follow 1,000 people. And you're telling me that, like, that's not right. That's not right.
I mean, maybe so and maybe not. If you think about, like, who do we know in our network beyond you and Fiona
But
who's
it never shows
actually...
me you.
Oh, well, that's because we're being unalive to each other in the digital space right now, which is why I'm researching tools and things to keep us all connected. Y'all can expect a WhatsApp portal to come very soon and a couple others, because twice this week, Tara and I were told we're no longer in community by people who are not us. That's
We
weird.
are all connected to each other in a circle, in a hoop that never ends.
Let's move this soliloquy and show along. Also, soliloquy available at taraparolo.bandcamp.com.
That's
There we
something.
go. There we go. Okay, so now seeking, we are looking for people who want to raise their voice and to share their spark with the world. And so if you're out there and you've always wanted to host something, or you wanted to showcase your talents, or you want to share a poem, we're going to be bringing back these cabaret style events, these speakeasies, these poetry nights, these online readings where everyone shows up, gets their script, and reads their part. Auditions, of course, are going to be happening, but we're looking for people who really, really want to come alive with putting their love into action. We've got people who've been joining the Discord server and coming over into that fun. I've still got to get back in touch with, like, the over 100 applicants that I got at the top of the year who want to come into the fold. That will materialize, folks, because God plus me equals the manifestation. However, if you're out there under the sound of my voice and you're looking for a way to contribute to the conversation right now, what's going on in society, and you want to do something that's a light lift, but maybe you also want to be around people who understand you, like what's happening in our clubhouse rooms, we're seeking moderators, ambassadors, and also on-air talent. Who did I miss, Tara? About who? Oh, we're also looking for Black artists to sponsor and to circulate abundance to through our Adopt a Black Artist program. So many of them are under-recognized in society, and some of them are deemed invisible in their areas. And so we're bringing a highlight to those who are melanated.
Musicians, band members, singers, avocational, and or people that are looking to take their singing to the next level, perhaps to audition, sign up for audition coaching with Dr. Flo. But I think that's the group that maybe you may have said it, but musicians.
Musicians. Great. All right. It's on you.
Yeah, this is a real simple one, y'all. Because I know a lot of people are feeling this way. So I just Piper's like, you may not read. We're okay. I brought the whole box of Cheerios, y'all. So we're good. We're good. It says, if you're comfortable, close your eyes. It doesn't say that, but I'm saying that. If you're comfortable, close your eyes, and we're going to do a breathing exercise real quick. Black Liturgies is coming back on Monday, and I just need to tell you all that, like, my whole person is so excited about that. I'm so excited. They've been gone for too long, and I respect breaks, and also I have missed this particular resonance over the last however many months they've been gone. So inhale with me, except I need it to be bigger. This is too much to hold. Exhale. So we hold it together. One more time together. Inhale. There is too much to hold. Exhale. So we hold it together. And we've been talking for weeks about the importance of community and community building and how that goes, and coalition building. And, like a lot of people are saying, community is it. Like Dr. Flo started at the top of this, and is throughout the day. I feel like you were talking about it in the clubhouse room about building digital community and building, like there is just there is a lot to hold. There's a lot of things going on in the world, right? And we can hold it a little bit easier together. You don't have to fix everything. You don't even have to care about everything. I heard that on a podcast this morning. You don't have to care about everything. That's true. You don't have to care about everything. Because if we hold it all together, it's more manageable, right? And we don't get burned out, and we can actually make change.
It's important to note that we don't care about the same things in our network, but we bring all the things we care about into the center of the pile, and then we're able to help and aid each other in all of the ways that we can. That's what it means to be in a mutual support network, and so we're grateful for that. It's important.
Okay, so just buckle your seatbelts. This is one is not black, but these were some people, some major players that died this week. So rest in power to Roberta Flack, Roy Ayers. Jeez, I can't even say that. Dolly's husband, and Caleb Wilson, and justice for Caleb Wilson as well. Which I saw today. I looked up Caleb, and finally it looks like his story is getting national attention on Google. So that's important.
And Darley's husband's name is Carl Thomas Dean.
Carl Dean. Very Southern.
Yeah, he aged like milk. I only saw.
Maybe that's why she left him at home all the time.
I only seen the younger pictures of him. I just saw an older picture of him just now, and
maybe that's the reason. She said, "You ain't got the work done that I got done."
I swear. Oh my gosh! So yeah, rest in power to those people. May their memory be a blessing. The Caleb Wilson story is harmful because he was harmed, but also it's harmful because it's this whole black on black thing that's happening. Like I hate sharing the story, and you talk about the national attention of it. It's so like you don't want to see any community self-harm in this way, but this is like higher education.
Yeah,
that young man was in school to be educated and lost his life in a fraternal ritual. That's just like, that's not good for any community. This happens to the white kids too. They usually drink themselves into oblivion. But this was something very different, and I hate the messaging it's bringing to the community internally, but also at large.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's worth, and every time that a death happens at one of these rituals or hazing, right? We can call it that. Every time that type of death happens, I feel like we circle around this conversation of fraternities and sororities. And I was never a part of one because I
was.
Ain't no way, child. ain't no way for me. But as you said, it's not just happening to, I think for me, and I'm sure the national attention won't do this, but it's more of an indictment of fraternities than quote unquote black on black crime, which we know that many a white place is going to spin it that way. But yeah. Also, young people, please just stop to think. I know your frontal lobe is still developing, but like, pause.
Yeah. When we're talking about a warehouse being owned by an Omega for an unsanctioned event in the middle of the night, where a kid that's older than a traditional college age is on campus punching 20-year-olds in the chest at a seizure level to death, we have to investigate how much belonging is a thing that should cause us harm.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to belong in the world as much as everybody else, but not that much.
Right.
And I think that if belonging puts your life in danger, and we could talk about this in the context of the political spectrum, that a lot of people who belong to the larger political cults and things are not necessarily caring about the people in their community who need their pills. They need their nebulizers. They need access to stay alive. Sometimes we don't care about the collective while trying to protect ourselves and our personal belonging. It's very weird. And what's sad about this, and we say this every time there's black on black crime, white on black crime, white on white crime, these types of violent acts destroy multiple families' lives. The kid who died, his family will never be the same from this trauma. And then the kid who did it will also exist in a community of people who don't want to see him going away inevitably for manslaughter charges because he wanted to make a man out of that kid in the middle of the night and prove his dominance as if we're in some National Geographic special.
Right.
Absolutely not.
Right.
I felt that breath from Minnesota. We are so grateful to you all for tuning into Love in Action, Deconstruction Junction. We're here pretty much every week. Sometimes I skip out. It's really me. I'm the problem with a capital P, and don't you ever forget it. And so when we are here, we're picking apart black on black crime, as you see. We're talking about religious things, spiritual things, political things, just our thoughts about life as they're presenting so they don't get stuck inside of us. We're able to process our emotions and talk about the things we care about in community. We've also turned it into a pretty cool podcast. It's been on the air for almost over a year now, if I'm not mistaken. And we seek as a community to encourage, equip, and empower everyone to have a pretty darn good day. So we intend to keep moving forward for the next 25 years together, as daunting as that sometimes feels in our pizza shop. Like I always tell folks, Tara and I and Poppy and all of us in the network are basically members of a giant family pizza company that's scattered throughout the country and the world. If you see us yelling at each other by the mozzarella, just know that it'll be over soon. We're still going to show up in the morning to toss more pies. The people need it, and we are stronger in community. So let us be glad. Let us be grateful. Tara is pretty much chair-leading a program along with me called Adopt a Black Artist. We recognize that in society, Black artists and creatives and liberated people are often making significantly less than others. And so a lot of the money for their resources, tools, and or fun goes into living, whereas other people get to kind of do what they want to do. And so Poppy Water and I have been adopted by so many of you in various ways through this program. And there are other people that we want you to know about. Could you highlight just one or two of those people that we are bringing attention to? Imagine that little Feed the Children tree that's at Starbucks every year. We're basically building one for ourselves where people can go, like I really enjoy Flo's work. I really enjoy Tara's work. I really enjoy Poppy's work. I really enjoy Kenrick's work. Like, let me just take them home and put them on my tree and contribute positively to their lives. Tara, who else are we featuring in addition to ourselves? Because we do want to spread this. I can't feature myself every day. We need more.
Well, and today is Friday, so I will try to get another one up here. I am Mr. Sings is the handle. His name is Christopher Singleton. He has a book to start playing piano. It's called Chris and Frankie. It's very, very cute. And he is also raising money, I believe, for an album, and he's trying to raise $12,000. I saw the GoFundMe. So we'll be refeaturing him. We've also featured our good friend Sunflower, SBN FLWR, who is looking for signups. So, and just to clarify, y'all, it's not always monetary. She is looking for signups for her newsletter. And then Dr. Flo mentioned Kenrick Job, and he is looking for paint supplies. So those are things that are popping up. And if you want to, we've been talking about resistance. We've been talking about like action steps. If you want to do more than just give money, because I find that as a person that is in white spaces an awful lot, the first knee-jerk reaction of white people to solve racism is to throw money at it. And as I said, when Joe Biden was in the primaries, I said, you cannot solve racism by throwing money at it. That is what I said on my Facebook. It will eternally live there. Y'all can go search it. Okay. And it's the same thing here. It's not always about the funding. It is about getting the actual things that these people need. So for instance, like Dr. Flo needed a meat thermometer. So I sent him a meat thermometer. Dr. Flo needed a splitter. So I sent him a splitter. Art supplies for Kenrick, right? These signups. Oh, and we featured Shaheem, who also his handle or their handle on TikTok and Instagram is at 5HAHEM. And they are looking for signups for their newsletter as well. And they just recently started a new podcast with Christina, whom we featured on this show a couple of times. So, but anyway, to finish that, if you don't want to just throw money, go to the link in bio and download the slides and post them on your feed. Post them on your feed, share them to your stories. You can tag just the artist if you want. Their handles are all in there. Or you can tag Love and Action Network, Dr. Flo, and I, and the artist. Whatever makes you feel super comfortable. But we just want to make sure that these people are getting as much attention as we can give them.
Perfect, Tara. I also, while you were riffing, asked the AI to give me 100 ways to help solve racism without money. Here are some from the personal growth and awareness area. You can educate yourself on racism, history, and privilege. You can listen to podcasts on racial issues. You can follow diverse voices on social media. You can engage in self-reflection about bias and stereotypes for free. You can commit to lifelong learning about social justice for free. Interpersonal actions, you can speak up when you hear racist remarks. You can call in and not just call out when educating others. You can amplify voices of color in conversations. You can avoid tone policing when people express racial pain for free. In your family and home, you can teach children about diversity and inclusion. You can read diverse books with your children. You can expose your children to diverse cultures through food, music, and stories. You can be mindful of the language you use at home. You can teach your kids to stand up for racism and model anti-racist behavior for free. In the community, you can attend community discussions. You can encourage your neighbors to be inclusive. You can organize book clubs. You can engage in interfaith dialogue about racism. At your job for free, you can encourage leadership diversity. You can challenge biased language in your meetings. You can encourage anti-racism training at your job. I mean, this goes on and on, folks. I'm going to publish this in a blog or something. But this is 100 ways for free that you can combat some of this nastiness in society by just being present to community. People, you're right. A lot of people try to say, well, I ain't got no money, so I really can't do anything. Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
And there was some focus on young people in the ones that you shared. And I just wanted to offer an account that you all can go follow to find diverse children's books. There's a couple different ones, but the one that pops into my head is Little Justice Leaders. And they often feature a wide variety, not just Black, but we're talking Hispanic, we're talking Latinx, we're talking Native American, we're talking all of the things that they feature over there. And they also frequently do slide decks about how to talk to your kids about certain issues. So if you are a person that is interested in raising anti-racist kids and just generally good people, and if you're an educator, that is a great resource. I found like a lot of great things. They talk about trans issues a lot over there as well. So it's a great account to follow. And that's at Little Justice Leaders.
Speaking of which, we haven't said that this week, but y'all leave these trans people alone. They want to put food in their mouths and poop it out like the rest of us. They want to use the bathroom. They want to go to their jobs and make their money and clock the fuck out just like everybody else. The fact that y'all intimidate and torture and keep bullying these trans people in society that just want to like be happy, healthy, and free like everybody else is some fucked up shit. And I promise you, I'm trying to encourage, equip, and empower people to speak up for them. It's been a long ass time since a trans person was disrespected in my presence, because everybody in the room knew I wasn't going to have that shit. And the fact that y'all allow people to be like pushed to the outskirts of society, knowing that they have the same feelings and needs and desires that so many of us have, is some trash behavior. Y'all going to leave these trans people alone because they just want to live and let live. Like, it's so weird. I'm in a state right now where they don't want drag queens around the kids or trans people to be able to use the bathrooms they want, all kinds of other shit. It's kind of like that is a lack of love in your heart. Stop trying to put that on everybody else, because it makes life really unsafe for people who just want to live. Like, they didn't do anything to anybody and y'all are fucking around. If you want to sponsor a student, Tara has a very, very shiny face on the screen this week. Who am I looking at that we're sponsoring for $200
This
a month?
is Maya. Maya, so this one of the siblings in this family. And Maya is very, very talented and just like all around joy of a student. And they auditioned for Matilda, and there were 138 auditionees, and Maya a couple weeks ago came to lesson the day of their callback, and we practiced the little, the little 16 bars of Naughty, which was one of the first songs we ever worked on together. And also we read some slides and made sure that they could do their British accent and their English, their American accent on both, and just like all around prepared them for the callback. And they, out of 138 people, they're one of two Matildas. The whole thing is double cast, but they are one of two Matildas. So congratulations to Maya. I'm so happy they've been able to stay in the studio. Thanks to many of you out there for donating. I do need about $50 for April. March is covered, but $50 for April sessions to keep Maya and their sister Izzy in lesson with us. And Izzy is a talent unto herself. I'll talk about her some other time.
We love the kids and Love in Action Network, and we love the kids in music lessons. If you give kids a music education, you teach them how to express themselves for the rest of their lives. It really is something that lingers with Tara and I. That's why we want to see these kids stay in her studio, and that's why Poppy and I contribute as often as we can as well to this kid, because, like I said, a kid that's in tune with their emotions is a sturdy kid for what's ahead. And we know what's ahead, you old people. We know what's ahead. But I'm keeping hope alive in my own special way by hiring people on for the next version of Dr. Flo and the Love Experience, hence the wig. I don't usually, yes, I do. I do usually wear the wig, but it's all part of this guy called Flo, who wants to take a love revival to the world, encouraging local artists and community members to let their joy out, especially in times like these. If you're interested in auditioning for the show and being part of something bigger than yourself, go to lovedandlovable.bio.link, lovedandlovable.bio.link, lovedandlovable.bio.link to audition and submit your materials to contribute. We've gotten to the last slide, the second to last slide. Any closing thoughts, Madam Praolo, about what we've shared here on this evening?
I love children that give me accompaniment for the final thoughts. What I want people to get out of, and I need to write a blog and like do a recording of this, which I'm also like, did I do droplets last night? I'm just thinking about that. I don't think I did droplets last night. Anyway, so maybe you'll get a double dose, y'all. I have a lot to do this evening. But anyway,
you had the soundtrack of Jaws playing in the background.
Truth. We're really fascinated with the low part of the piano lately. It used to be the high part, but now we really like going over. I have a window over here that y'all can't see because I'm trying to not have my baby's face be popping up all over the place. So anyway, so they like to be over by the window, especially now that when the sun sets, it's lovely. Anyway, so I just want you all to know that within you, I said this on Threads, but within you is the same power that Al Green displayed. Within you is the same resistance that Al Green displayed. Within you is the same ability that Al Green displayed. And I really need you all to harness that and believe in that. And I don't always believe it's in me either, child. I get you, but it's in all of us. It's in all of us if we want it bad enough. That's all.
My biggest takeaway is that the singer Al Green of Let's Stay Together and Al Green of Congress are not related in any way to each other. They're just two black men that share the same fucking name. Ah! That's my biggest takeaway. And then
today I learned, child.
Today I learned. And in the process of learning that, I also learned that Hakeem Jeffries is tied into some pretty dark money. And I want y'all to, in addition to names and relation, to just verify and re-verify what you hear. Just because people are being positioned towards us, I feel the same way. I feel like if I look into Jasmine Crockett, I'm going to find something I don't want to know as well. Because if these people are being positioned in front of us in mainstream television and beyond, there's a reason why. We're going to figure out what that website is that that young Asian gentleman was using and track all of these people's money, because there are reasons why they are not helping us be better. Like, there's a reason why America cannot be made great again. And it's tied into BlackRock. Once again, Google BlackRock. I'm going to start circulating information about it because they are a major stakeholder in like so many multinational corporations in this country. And they are part of a system of control under capitalism that's holding all of us back. And by all of us, I mean all of us are being held back by companies like BlackRock. And if you go down the rabbit hole and you need some mental health counseling to after you see what you see, just reach out to us and we'll come and give you our air hug, because it's a very, very tangled web of evil that's happening, and we've not seen the end of it yet, because capitalism wants to choke us all out to preserve those in power at the top, and we're not going to take it. We're not going to take it.
No,
we're not going to take it.
Just FYI, I don't know if this website is correct or not, but it doesn't. I looked up Jasmine Crockett funding, and I'm on a site called OpenSecrets.org. The top contributor to her campaign was Miller Weisbrod Oleski, which donated $17,100. But there's no APAC or BlackRock listed here. That doesn't mean that that's not true, but it does look like there's like a healthcare thing that donated to her as well. So
right. Yeah, I mean, people who talk as much shit as she does usually have clean noses. But we have to verify. Send me that link as well, because I want to look up AOC and everybody else that I see talking. Look up Schumer. Who owns Schumer? Good old Chucky boy, Chucky Schumer. Who owns Chucky?
Campaign finance summary. First of all, that's not the same thing. Blackstone Group has donated $292,000. Nextera Energy, Paul Weiss, and all Newark Group, and L3 Harris Technologies.
Chucky?
That's Chuck, yeah.
Yeah, so Hakeem is even deeper in it than Chuck Schumer is. He's the black
guy. Again, I don't know anything about this website, so this may all be false information, y'all. But
then it could be false information, folks. But also, Blackstone is another name you should Google, because I know BlackRock.
No, this has to be the website, because I just looked up Hakeem, and it says that he took $866,000 from APAC and $80,000 from BlackRock, $79,000 from Apollo Global Management, $71,000 from Lockheed, and $68,000 from MetLife Inc.
So before you start angry messaging me about what I'm saying, y'all need to figure out, because I don't know a single CEO's name of any of those companies that Tara mentioned. And those are the people who have us by the balls right now in this country. The CEOs of those companies. They're the ones who are texting our leadership in the country and saying, you better sit your ass down in that chair tonight at the whatever 45 was doing. I still call him 45 because it never stopped for me. Like his whole, like since he was elected, they've always been talking about him because talking about him makes a lot of money. So I've always just called him 45. I think that when you elect a reality television star as the most highly regarded official in the country, you get exactly what you deserve. It would be the equivalent of electing Ronald McDonald as president. You know, you get the hamburgers that you ordered. And a hamburger sounds really good right now. Maybe my husband will buy me one. All right. On behalf of all of us at Love and Action Network, stay in your power, stay in your joy, stay loved and lovable. We want to thank all the donors and sponsors and friends like Jimmy Jams, Angie, Loretta, Tara, Poppy, Hartman, and everyone
Dolo,
who contributed
Her
to the
Story
rise.
True.
Dolo, Her Story True. The list goes on and on of people who are in the network and who are finding refuge in the idea that they're loved and lovable. And so don't you ever forget it. And we will see y'all soon around the network. Have